They say money can't buy love, but I never believed it until I found myself staring at bank transfers from a lonely American retiree who would completely destroy everything I thought I knew about myself. You see, there are two types of freelancers who work with Western expats, the ones who keep strict boundaries, and the ones who think they can handle a retired man's desperate need for connection. I was definitely the second type. Until I wasn't. If you're enjoying these real expat relationship stories, smash that like button and drop a comment letting me know what country you're watching from. Now let me tell you about the year that destroyed 2 lives. I'm staring at my phone screen in my cramped apartment in Quezon City, and I can't believe what I'm seeing. $500 from Robert Chen, a retired software engineer who moved to Angeles City 6 months ago. All I did was edit 3 of his Living in Philippines vlogs for $50 each. Videos about cheap rent, affordable healthcare, and how far his pension stretches here. The extra $350 came with a message: for your beautiful work and your beautiful smile in our video calls. This country is treating me well. Let me share the blessing. I should send it back, I know I should, but my hands are shaking as I screenshot the transfer notification. My roommate Anna is at her call center job, and I'm alone with this money. That could pay our rent for 2 months. My laptop pings with a Skype call from Robert. It's 2 a.m. here in Manila, which means it's 1 a.m. in Angeles City where he lives now. Did you get it? His face fills my screen. He's 58, graying hair, kind eyes behind wire-rimmed glasses. The face of every expat retiree I've seen walking around Makati or BGC. Robert, this is too much. I only did 3 videos. You made them beautiful, Maria, just like this country you call home. My real name is Maylin Santos, but I told him to call me Maria when we first started working together. It felt safer somehow. Professional. I can't accept this much money. Please. His voice gets soft. Back in San Francisco, I was spending 3 times this much just on groceries every month. Here in Angeles, my pension goes so far. And you're helping me share my story with other retirees thinking about making the move. I think about my father's medicine, the bills stacked on our tiny kitchen table, my mother's text from yesterday asking if I could send money home to Bataan. Thank you, I whisper. The smile that spreads across his face makes my stomach twist. Not with disgust, with something worse, guilt. Because I already know I'm going to keep it. You know what, Maria? I've been thinking about expanding my content. Maybe you could help me create a series about expat life here. The real stuff. Dating, relationships, finding love after 50 in a new country. The way he says it makes me wonder if he's already found what he's looking for. 3 weeks later, our business calls last 3 hours each night. Robert tells me about his retirement routine in Angeles City, how he wakes up in his 3-bedroom house that costs him $400 a month, less than he used to pay for parking in San Francisco. How his American pension of $3,200 makes him feel wealthy for the first time in years. But he also tells me about the loneliness, how the other expats at Friendship Bar are mostly drunk by 2 p.m., complaining about their ex-wives and bragging about 20-year-old girlfriends they support. I thought retirement abroad would be different, he says during tonight's call. He's in his living room and I can see the typical expat setup. Big screen TV, lazy boy chair, cases of Red Horse beer in the corner. Different how? More meaningful. I guess. These guys, and they just want cheap beer and cheaper women. That's not why I came here. I tell him about growing up poor in Bataan province, about my father's diabetes and my mother cleaning houses for rich expat families in Subic, about my dream of opening a small cafe someday. You know what I love about you, Maria, he says, taking a swig from his beer. You're real. These bar girls here, they just want money for their families, but you have dreams, ambitions. The irony isn't lost on me. I need money for my family too. The money keeps coming. 700 last week, 900 this week, always with messages about how his pension goes so far here, how he wants to share his good fortune. Anna notices my new laptop, my new clothes, the way I stopped asking her to split grocery bills. Who is this guy, she asks one morning as I'm getting ready for another video call. Just a client. American retiree in Angeles City. Ah. Her face changes. May, be careful. These expat guys, they're not here for the weather. It's not like what you think. But as I apply lipstick before our call, when did I start wearing makeup for work? I know she's thinking exactly what I'm thinking. When Robert's face appears on my screen, his first words are, "You look beautiful today. You know, living here is making me see things differently, appreciate things more," and I smile. Because for 3 hours, talking to this lonely American retiree who chose my country for his new life, I get to pretend I'm part of something bigger than just surviving day to day. "I want to meet you in person," Robert says during our call. It's been 4 months since that first overpayment, and his vlogs now get thousands of views from other Americans considering retirement abroad. My stomach drops. "Robert, I know Angeles City isn't far from Manila. Maybe you could visit for a weekend. I have a nice place here. Pool, maid service. You could see how us expats live." I stare at his hopeful face on my laptop screen. Behind him, I can see he's decorated with Filipino flags and native handicrafts, the typical expat attempt to show cultural appreciation. I don't know if that's a good idea. Please, Maria. I've been living here 8 months now and I still feel like an outsider. The expat community here, it's not my scene, but talking to you, you help me understand this country, your country. My phone buzzes with a text from my mother. "May-Lin, your father's medicine costs went up again. Can you send more this month?" Look back at Robert's face, at this lonely American who moved halfway around the world for affordable retirement and ended up more isolated than ever. "I'll pay for everything," he continues. "Transportation, meals, everything. It's not, I mean, you'd have your own room. I just want to show you my life here. Maybe get your advice on how to really integrate into Filipino culture." "Okay," I whisper. The joy that lights up his face makes me want to cry. 2 days later, I'm on a bus to Angeles City with a round-trip ticket he paid for and $500 for expenses. As the bus passes the familiar sight of expat-heavy areas, Western restaurants, English signs, older foreign men with much younger Filipina companions, I wonder what I'm really agreeing to. Robert's house in Angeles City looks like every successful expat's dream. 3 bedrooms, modern appliances, a pool in the back, and a live-in maid named Tessie who speaks broken English and avoids eye contact. The monthly cost of everything, house, maid, utilities, food, is less than what Robert used to spend on rent alone in San Francisco. "Welcome to my retirement paradise," he says, giving me a tour. Every room has the same expat aesthetic. Expensive electronics mixed with local handicrafts, like he's trying to prove he appreciates Filipino culture, while maintaining American comfort. For 3 days, I live inside the expat bubble. We eat at restaurants where all the customers are foreign men with Filipina companions half their age. We go to bars where Robert introduces me as his cultural consultant to other retirees who nod knowingly. "She's helping me understand the real Philippines," he tells Gary, a 65-year-old from Texas who's been here 5 years. Gary winks at me. "That's what they all say, brother. Just make sure you're the one doing the teaching, if you know what I mean." That night, Robert apologizes for Gary's comment. "Not all expats are like that," he says as we sit by his pool. "Some of us came here for the right reasons." "What are your reasons?" He's quiet for a long moment. "In America, I was just another old divorced guy watching TV alone every night. Here I matter. My money goes far, people are respectful, and I met you." When he walks me to the guest room, he kisses my forehead. Gentle, respectful, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm just another part of his retirement fantasy. The educated, grateful Filipina who makes him feel like a good expat instead of just another sex tourist. Before my bus back to Manila, he hands me an envelope. 3,000 pesos. "For your family," he says. "And Maria's, I've been thinking about making this more official. Not just the video work. Maybe you could move here to Angeles. Help me create content full-time. I could rent you your own place nearby." On the bus ride home, I count the money 3 times and think about what more official might mean. Back in Manila, everything changes. The money arrives like clockwork now. 2,000 pesos every week, sometimes more. But Robert's expectations change too. Daily video calls, minimum 2 hours. Immediate responses to his text messages. Photos of what I'm eating, what I'm wearing, where I'm going. But now there's a new element. Constant updates about his expat life and his plans for our future. "The community here is starting to accept me more," he says during one call. "I told them about you, about how you're helping me understand Filipino culture from the inside." "What did you tell them exactly?" "Just that I have a special connection to a smart, beautiful Filipina who's teaching me the real Philippines, not the bar scene garbage." When I'm 3 hours late calling because Anna got rushed to the hospital, Robert's face is cold on the screen. "I was worried," he says, but his voice is flat. "I started thinking maybe you found some local guy. You know how it is here. Expats, always worrying about being replaced by someone younger. Anna had appendicitis. I had to take her to the emergency room. You could have texted. I forgot. I was scared for my friend." "I see." He's quiet for a long moment. "Well, I'm glad she's okay. But Maria, I depend on our calls. They're what make this expat life bearable. Without you, I'm just another lonely American in a foreign country." The guilt hits like a physical weight. "I'm sorry. It's fine. Just try to remember next time. I gave up everything in America for this new life. You're the most important part of it." After that, I set alarms, reminders. I cancel plans with friends when they conflict with our call schedule. Anna notices. "You're like his live-in girlfriend, except you don't even live with him." It's not that simple, isn't it? He's living his expat dream, and you're part of the package. Like the maid, the cheap rent, the status of having a young, educated Filipina who understands him. I want to argue, but the words stick in my throat, because I've seen enough expat relationships to know she's right. That night, Robert sends an extra 1,000 pesos with a message, "Because you make my retirement worth it." I stare at the money transfer and realize I've become exactly what I used to judge. Another Filipina financially dependent on a Western retiree's fantasy of what life should be like. 8 months after my first visit to Angeles City, Robert appears on our video call with a small blue box and a sheaf of papers. "Marry me," he says. My laptop screen seems to freeze, like even technology can't process what's happening. "Robert, I've already researched everything. I can sponsor you for a fiancé. Visa, or we can get married here in the Philippines. Either way, you can move to Angeles permanently. I'll buy us a bigger house. Your family will never have to worry about money again." Behind him, I can see he's prepared for this moment. Our photos printed and framed, a banner in Tagalog, a stack of what looks like immigration paperwork. I've talked to other expats who've done this. Gary introduced me to his lawyer. Everything's ready. The ring is beautiful. Diamond solitaire, more expensive than anything I've ever owned. I need time to think. His face falls. Time. "Maria, we've been together almost a year. I've built my whole retirement around the idea of sharing it with you. We've been talking for a year. That's different." "How is it different?" "I moved to this country. I learned about your culture. I've supported your family. Isn't that what Filipino women want? A man who provides?" I stare at his hopeful face, at the ring box, at the immigration papers behind him. That's when the horrible truth hits me. This was never about love. This was about his expat fantasy. The successful American retiree with the beautiful, grateful Filipino wife who makes him feel like he made all the right choices. And I let him build that fantasy. I participated in it, video call by video call, peso by peso. "I need to go." I whisper, "Maria, wait." I close the laptop. I don't answer his calls for a week. My phone buzzes constantly with increasingly desperate messages. "Please talk to me." I don't understand what I did wrong. I gave up America for this life, for you. The other expats were right. I was stupid to think this was different. The money stops coming. My mother calls. "Mei Lin, your father missed his doctor's appointment. We couldn't afford the consultation fee." I stare at my bank account. The regular transfers that kept my family afloat are gone, because I couldn't play along with an American retiree's fantasy of finding authentic love in his adopted country. Anna finds me crying over my laptop. "You have to call him back. I can't marry him." Then tell him that, but this silence... You know how these expat guys get when they feel rejected. It's not just about you anymore. It's about their whole reason for being here. She's right. I've seen what happens when expat relationships fall apart. The men either become bitter and cynical, or they spiral into depression, drinking alone in their big empty houses. I open Skype. His face appears instantly, like he's been waiting by his computer for days. He looks terrible. Unshaven, hollow-eyed, empty beer bottles visible behind him. Maria. His voice breaks on my fake name. Robert, I can't marry you. Is it because I'm too old? Because I can get surgery, lose weight, whatever you need. It's not about that. Then what? I thought this was what you wanted. What Filipino women want. Security. A good man who provides. The casual racism in his words, even though he doesn't mean it maliciously, cuts through me. I cared about you, I say carefully. But Robert, what we had, it wasn't real. You built a fantasy about expat life, and I became part of that fantasy. I gave you everything. His voice is a whisper. I moved to your country. I learned your culture. I was different from the other guys. I respected you. The pain in his voice cuts through me, because he did try to be different. He did try to respect me, but he still saw me as part of his retirement package. I'm sorry, I whisper, and end the call. I don't hear from Robert for 2 months. I work 18-hour days, editing videos for 5 different clients. The pay is terrible compared to what Robert was sending, but it's honest work. My father's condition gets worse. Without the money for his better medications, his diabetes spirals. Anna brings me news from her friends who work in Angeles City. They say there's an American guy there who's gone completely off the rails, drinking every day at the expat bars, ranting about ungrateful Filipino women. My blood runs cold. What's his name? Robert something. The other expats are getting tired of him. Apparently he's talking to any young woman who'll listen about his ungrateful girlfriend who took his money and broke his heart. I feel sick. This is what I've done to him. Turned him into exactly the kind of bitter expat he came here to avoid becoming. You need to check on him, Anna says. Whatever happened between you two, he's destroying himself. I create a new Facebook account and message Gary, the Texas expat I met at that bar. He responds quickly. You, Maria? Yeah, Robert's been asking about you. Look, I don't know what went down between you two, but the guy's a mess. Hasn't been sober in weeks. The landlord's threatening to kick him out because of noise complaints. You might want to do something before this gets worse. The cold fear settles in my stomach. I know what worse means in the expat community. I finally call Robert from a blocked number. He answers on the first ring. Maria. His voice is slurred. Hopeful, broken. Robert, I heard you've been having a hard time. Hard time? He laughs, but there's no humor in it. I gave up everything for this place, for you, and now I'm just another pathetic expat drinking alone while the locals laugh behind my back. Robert, you need help. Maybe you should go back. To America. See your daughter. Emily won't talk to me. She said I was crazy for moving here. Said I'd become just another sex tourist. Maybe she was right. You're not a sex tourist. You're just lost. I am lost. I thought I found something real here. I thought I found love, purpose, a reason to start over. But it was all fake, wasn't it? The respect, the culture, the connection, it was all just about money. I want to lie, to tell him some of it was real, but I can't. I'm sorry, Robert. Yeah. His voice is getting quieter. Me too. Robert, are you okay? You sound... I'm fine. Just tired. Tired of being the stupid American who thought he could buy a new life. Please don't do anything. The line goes dead. I immediately call Gary. You need to check on Robert, now. Why? What's wrong? Just please. Check on him. 3 hours later, Gary calls back. He's gone, Gary says quietly. Landlord found him this morning, heart attack they think, but Maria... There were bottles everywhere, and pills, his diabetes medication. Looks like he hadn't been taking care of himself for weeks. The phone slips from my hand. Robert didn't just die, he gave up. And I was the reason why. I never told my family what really happened with Robert. I told them his business ended, that the American expat client moved back to the States. My father died 6 months after Robert in a public hospital room that smelled like disinfectant and broken dreams. The diabetes finally won, just like it won with Robert in a different way. I carry both deaths now. Every morning, I wake up thinking about Robert's last words. How he said he was tired of being the stupid American who thought he could buy a new life. The truth is, we were both buying something. He was buying the fantasy of being a respected expat with an authentic cultural connection. I was buying my family's survival, with his need to feel like the good guy. Neither of us understood the real price until it was too late. I edit videos for small clients now, mostly local businesses, some overseas work. When Western retirees contact me about Philippines lifestyle content, I politely decline. But sometimes late at night I see his face in my dreams. Not angry or bitter, just sad. The face of a man who moved halfway around the world looking for something real and found only another transaction. The expat community in Angeles City has moved on. There's always another lonely American arriving, another young Filipino willing to help him understand real Filipino culture for the right price. The cycle continues because it serves everyone's needs, until it doesn't. Robert wanted to be different from the other expats. I wanted to be different from the other local women who depend on foreign men. But in the end, we played the same old game with the same inevitable ending. Some mistakes you pay for with money, others you pay for with lives. I paid with both. The worst part isn't the guilt, though I carry plenty of that. The worst part is knowing that somewhere out there, another Robert is arriving at NAIA, excited about his new retirement paradise. And another Maria is about to get her first overpayment from a lonely American who just wants to feel needed. The cycle never stops. It just finds new players. This is the real cost of paradise, not the rent or the food or the visa fees. It's the price of pretending that loneliness and desperation can be cured by crossing an ocean and finding someone grateful enough to play. Along Robert died believing his retirement dream was a lie. I live knowing I helped sell him that lie. That's the regret I'll carry forever.